Welcome back to another episode of Minnesota Wild Be a GM franchise here on Dynasty Central Sports. This is NHL 21 and we are going into the month of April 2021 and the Minnesota Wild. We are riding high. 49, 24, and 6 heading into the playoffs as the number one team in the West, number one team in the Central, and we made some moves last couple episodes ago on the trade deadline. But first, let's take a look at the month of April. It's pretty shitty as there's only 3 games left in the regular season. We're going to feature some playoff games of the first round in this episode. So we're not going to have any of the regular season games that you see here on the screen. We're going to sim up to the playoffs and then find out who our first opponent is. It looks like it might be the Los Angeles Kings. And then we'll find out from there how will the series go. I'm going to sim the first 4 games of the series. First the first 3. I'll find out if I can get past that. Take a look at the stats so far of the regular season, but I'm explaining how we're going to do playoffs on this series. In the first 3 games I'm going to sim, I'm going to find out what happens, see how the series go, sim game 4, and then if it's a tie series or whatnot, we're going to see the first 2 games. If we win, lose, depends on how that happens. But we're just going to see how the series go. Take a look at the stats. Like I said, Cam Talbot, 35 wins on the season. A great season for the goaltender. Kaapo Kähkönen, you saw him last episode, played awesome. We lost to the Jets 3-2. We lost to the Bruins 3-0 at home. And then we beat the Stars 2-1 at home. On the road, on April 6th. So let's find out who we have. The goals, owner goals evaluated. We passed. We got 25 sellouts. We got team chemistry by 5 to 75 and added some funds that I don't really care about. We got the Kings in game 1. We're going to sim, take a look at how this game goes. I'm going to sim basically the periods, but we're going to see how slow the series goes. All right, we got 1-0 after the first period as Clapbomb King puts one past John Quick. And then after the second, it's 5-2. A lot of goals. Kaprizov, Hartman, Brodin, and Spurgeon, Kopitar, and Wagner for the Kings. And let's see how the third period goes. We got with a PP goal to get a 6-2 win in the first game of the playoffs. Let's see how the second game goes. 4-2 win. Ooh, got shelled 6-0 in game 3, and then we lost in game 4. So let's see how we do in game 5, and we're going to watch highlights of this game. We are in the XL Energy Center. This is a big game as both teams are 2-2. These last 3 games are going to be very, very tight for both of us. Cam Talbot, 2-2, 4.45 goals against, absolutely abysmal goals against. Kel Peterson coming in over John Quick, 2-1 record. He's got 1 shot. He got that 6-0 win, which they probably went to him after that the first 2 games of getting shelled by the Wild, and then they win. Wild get that win off the faceoff. We are on the PK. Mamba over to Iafallo into the Wild zone. Wild have the puck. No, Kopitar still has it in the corner, and that is knocked down by Kopitar over to Iafallo, and that's a goal for the Kings. Gets the first ones on the board, and that's Alex Iafallo with the first goal of the game, his 4th of this playoff on the PP from Kopitar after that big hit along the boards, and the Kings draw first blood in game 5. Brodin with that penalty. Take a look at that. Kopitar knocks him down, and a great one-timer snipe from Alex Iafallo right past Cam Talbot for the first goal.
I'll know pain.
It's a real kick in the knackers, bro.
Just a real ouchie, bro.
Wild really need to get back in this one if they really want to have a hope at home. We're at the 7-minute mark of the first period. The Kings have it in the zone. No, the Wild steal it, and they're taking it the other way. That is Parisi with a pass over to Zuccarello, and that's a block by Kel Peterson. Zuccarello in the corner, putting on pressure on McDermott, and that's behind the net, over to Nick Foligno, over to Zuccarello for a snipe, and that's the first goal for the game for the Wild. And Matt Zuccarello with a nice feed from Nick Foligno gets his first goal of the playoffs. What a goal. That was a nice one. Matt Zuccarello, the Norwegian Hobbit, just sneaks right behind the Kings defense, gets open, and Nick Foligno finds him in front for a nice one-timer, mid-titty, right past Cal Peterson to tie it up 1-1. Moving still in the first period, face-off to the left at Cam Talbot at the 4:53 mark. Power play for the Kings, a minute 55 left in that. Iafallo with a muffin shot, and the Wild have it. Nick Foligno over to Nick Bonino, the Clapbaum King, and that's another goal from the Wild as Jonas Brodin gets a nice one-timer in the slot from Clapbaum King. And that's going to be his second of the playoffs, a shorthanded goal at the 15-16 mark of the first period. The Wild are going to take this one and take a nice lead as Jonas Brodin, trailing the play, gets a pass from Clapbaum King over, and that's a great slapper in the slot right past Cal Peterson on the blocker side. 2-1, Wild are up. Jonas Brodin coming from Karlstad, Sweden. He was the first-round pick, 10th overall by the Wild. Kopitar with the draw gets the puck, and that is the Wild have it. Dustin Brown now has it in the corner. Iafallo over to Kopitar, over to Dustin Brown, and he was going to put it right back into the net past Cam Talbot and tie it up 2-2 after one. That was a great single effort from Dustin Brown, gets a power play goal, his first of the playoffs, and that was a great play from Dustin Brown. Really put the puck in the zone. Nick Foligno gets that. Marcus Foligno actually had the penalty in the. He was in the box for the Wild, and Dustin Brown gets the equalizer, makes it 2-2 after one. He really made that play happen, getting his own rebound off Cam Talbot's leg pad and puts that right in the back of the net for the second goal, first of the playoffs for Dustin Brown. That's the end of the first. Take a look at the face salad for Ryan Getzlaff, already in the first round of the playoffs, sporting a nice mustache and beard combo. Here we go. Take a look at the highlights from the first period. The Wild are tied with the Kings 2-2. Cam Talbot letting that go right past as Alex Iafallo puts it in, and then Dustin Brown puts in his second goal of the game for the Kings, and now it is 2-2 go into the second. All right, opening faceoff of the second period, and there was not much to take a look at in that period. I have to already cut it to the end of that second period. No goals, no good plays or anything in that one. It was a tight game of hockey, still 2-2 after two. And let's see if the Kings can stop the Wild on this third period onslaught. Hopefully we get a little bit more pressure on the Kings. We're at the 12-minute mark of the third. The Kings dump it into the Wild zone. Retrieved, and now the Wild are going to take it out of the zone. Susie passes that over. That is Ryan Hartman. He'll take the puck into the Kings zone, passes that over to Greenway. Greenway over to Hartman, hit in the corner. Hartman still holds onto the puck. Over to Greenway. Greenway back to Hartman for a snipe on the short side. Goal, 3-2. Ryan Hartman puts this ahead for the Wild. And that is a third goal of the playoffs for the grinding sniper. Ryan Hartman, number 38, squeaks behind there and snipes that right past Cal Peterson's glove hand on the short side. 3-2, the Wild are going to get a nice lead as Ryan Hartman slams that home with authority right past Cal Peterson. We're at the 5:37 mark of the third period. Wild have the face-off loss in the King zone. Carl Grunstrom's going to dump that into the Wild zone. Martin Ferk has it along the boards. Pinned along the boards, kicks that deep. Grunstrom has it. He hits Martin Ferk in the slot, and that's a wide shot from Martin Ferk. Wild take it the other way. Zuccarello has it along the top of the circle. Waits, and Zach Parise puts that right past Cal Peterson for the fourth goal of the game, and the Wild take a lead of 4-2. The second goal of the playoffs from Zach Parise. The Minnesota boy comes through with the second goal of the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the fourth of the game. The Wild are going to take that and put the nail in the coffin. Hopefully, that is the big one, as the Wild hopefully take Game 5 at home. And that is going to be the final, as the Wild take home the Game 5 win. And we're going to head back to Los Angeles, the City of Angels, for Game 6 and hopefully take them down in their own barn. And let's just enjoy this big win at home. Nordy's on the ice. The lights have gone out. And let's take a look at some of the highlights from this game. Dustin Brown with his goal. That was the second goal of the game for the Kings, but that was not enough to get the big win. Zuccarello with the big commanding pass over to Zach Parise for the fourth goal of the game. The Wild come home with a big win, and we're going to enjoy this, but we have some more work to do in Los Angeles. We're going to head out to California, and let's take a look at the highlights from that game, as hopefully we can put this series away and just enjoy this round, as we will end up in the second round, hopefully with the next win in Los Angeles. Let's see how that game goes. It's going to be a tough one. Even though the Kings are down, they're going to be really fighting it, especially being at home. Take a look at some of the other first-round matchups. It looks like we might have the Jets coming up on the radar. Hopefully, though, that will not come through, because they are going to be a very tough team to play against. But this is the NHL playoffs. Everyone's tough. We got the Los Angeles Kings. They're going to host us for Game 6 at Staples Center. We're in the reverse retro uniforms. I really like these uniforms. They look great on the game. And then Cal Petersen and the Kings in their regular black uniforms. Let's have a great Game 6 and put home the Kings in this one. The first power play for the Wild, as Martin Ferk's going to go off for a penalty. That's a tripping penalty early in the first period, and takes down a Wild defenseman. That's 7:34 mark of the first period. We got the power play. Getzlaff at the draw. Let's see how we do. This is actually in the second period, 12:24 mark of the second period. Still goose eggs on the board. Kaprizov with a cross-ice pass, and that is the first goal of the game for the Wild, as they are going to get the first dagger into the heart, as Zach Parise with his third goal of the playoffs. We ended last game with a Zach Parise goal and started this game with a Zach Parise goal. That is a good omen to see. When Zach Parise scores, we win this. Kaprizov with a gorgeous pass to find Zach Parise all alone. He was out in Rancho Cucamonga by himself, ready to snipe that right past Cal Petersen with authority right over the blocker side of Cal Petersen. We're in the second still, 3:30 mark of the second. Kings have the puck, passes that up to Martin Ferk. Martin Ferk tries to dangle and broken up. The Wild have it going the other way. That is Zuccarello. Passes that, no, Greenway. That is Bonino over to Ryan Hartman, actually. Ryan Hartman coming up big. Another big goal for the third line grinder. Fourth goal of the playoffs. Putting in a lot of work, showing off that awesome worth and value to our third line with Jordan Greenway and Clapbomb King Nick Bonino. They are grinding their way into a nice niche, and Ryan Hartman puts that right on the goal line to make it 2-0 and give the Wild the big lead. We're going to go to the end of the second period, and the Wild have a commanding lead, 2-0, but that's always dangerous in the game of hockey, and you can never count your chickens in an NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. Hopefully we can come home with the win, but we'll find out if we can get this one in the third. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from that. Hopefully we can put home and put away the Kings in Staples Center. All right, well, there was no highlights of the third. The Wild shut the door, and right now it is 30 seconds left in the Kings season as the Wild control the puck. We got an empty net.
Nope.
Missed the empty net attempt. Marcus Foligno putting on some pressure, and the Kings are deep in their own zone. Passes that up, and now it's going the other way. Austin Wagner with it along the boards. The Wild steal it, and that is back to a Wild player. He's going to skate down, and that's an empty net goal for Nick Bonino, Clap Bomb King. He seals the deal with the third goal of the game, and the Los Angeles Kings are going to go home in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Minnesota Wild, the number one team in the West, puts away the 8th seed, the Los Angeles Kings in California. This is a great start to the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs for the Minnesota Wild, who were a surprise team this season, coming up and winning the West, winning the Central out of nowhere, and 5.7 seconds left away from getting the first round win and securing that first win for this playoffs, and that is the big win. That's the buzzer. The Wild win round 1 of the series. Let's find out after the celebrations and the handshakes and the goalie pats on the head and hugs for our next opponent in round 2, which we will find out and see how that round goes in next episode. We want to enjoy this round 1 celebration first, and then back to business for round 2. Take a look at the goalies saying goodbye and congrats to Cam Talbot. Cal Peterson, always a gamer, puts in a great series, but he just cannot shut the door against the Wild's potent offense. That is just a great offensive game, and Cam Talbot coming up big with a Game 6 shutout. Kaprizov with that pass over to Zach Parise for the game winner in the second period. That's the end of the first round. Let's find out who we play against in round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. All right, we're going to sim the 20th of April, and we're going to have the Jets on the docket for round 2 and for episode 8. Take a look at the stats after round 1. Bonino, Greenway, and Hartman, the third line, doing damage and getting 8, 7, and 5 points respectively. Parise, Foligno, and Zuccarello 5, 5, and 4. Brodin, Kaprizov, and Dumba 3 apiece. This is great. Nick Foligno, a nice addition for our team going into playoffs. 5 points already. No goals, but 5 dishes. 5 apples for Nick Foligno. As the other addition, Ryan Getzlaff, so far only 1 assist. So thank you for watching this shorter episode of Minnesota Wild Be a GM. No episode next weekend, but we will be back with episode 8 the weekend after of that for the Minnesota Wild Be a GM franchise here on Dynasty Central Sports. Smash like down below, hit subscribe, throw us a comment. We'd love to hear from you, and thank you for supporting the channel. We will see you later.